about to clap back. Get your boss whacked, Premier's funeral on Snapchat. You now tuned into the bag.
Fisk unit. Fisk unit. Fisk. What's good, y'all? Fist Vegas, the hardest voice of sports. Go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe to the Fisk unit while you at it. Y'all know what time it is. If you ain't with it, you best get with it. Now let's rock. Alright, look. Shout out to Tom Brady. Shout out to them 7 rings. Especially the 7 rings, man. Because the reason he only got 7 and not 8 and not 9 was because of Eli Manning and my New York Football Giants. So, you know, Tom, 7's a good number for you, baby. 7's a good number. But, you know, Mike Francesa was on First Take this morning, and he had an interesting take on Tom Brady. And this is nothing that I haven't said before, but it's always interesting to hear people on national television regurgitate some of the stuff that you've actually said on your channel. And what Mike Francesa said was the greatest regular season player he ever seen was Peyton, and the greatest Super Bowl player he had ever seen was Joe Montana. Tom Brady happens to be neither of those people. But, you know, he gets called the GOAT. And no lies detected. Anybody with 2 eyes will tell you Peyton was better than Brady. If you were old enough to remember, like if you're younger, if you're in your early 20s, you can't speak on this. All right, if you're in your early 20s, you can't speak on this because, damn it, they was like you were barely born. You was in diapers when Tom Brady and Peyton made him go. Like he's like, yo, you really can't speak on it. But like, if you're old enough to remember Peyton in his prime, like he was better than Brady. He just was. Peyton Manning was the most unstoppable freak of nature you've ever seen in the regular season, and then in the playoffs he had some stumbles. Joe Montana never threw an interception in the Super Bowl and went 4 for 4, dominating. Then he didn't need a bunch of goal line interceptions or, you know, missed field goals. Nah, when Joe Montana got to the Super Bowl, 9 out of 10 times, he was going to blow you out and be perfect in the process. So, Mike Francesa does have an interesting take. And the thing with Tom Brady is this, right? The thing with Tom Brady is he was never flashy. Tom Brady was never flashy. He was never spectacular. Tom Brady was the epitome of death by 1,000 paper cuts. All the running backs, not Danny Amendola, we're going to get to him in a minute. The running backs, Danny Woodhead, Shane Vereen, Kevin Falk, Deion Lewis. I mean, my freaking goodness. I mean, all the running backs, the third down running backs that he's had throughout his career, man, it's like that's just what he did. Danny Amendola, Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, the slot guy, that's what he did. Rob Gronkowski, greatest tight end ever. That's what Brady did. Outside of one season with Randy Moss, that's what Brady did. When you think of Peyton Manning, you think of Marvin, you think of Wayne, you think of Demarius, you think of Decker, you think of those stud wide receivers. When you think of Joe Montana, you think of Jerry Rice. They were taking shots down the field. They were letting the wide receivers cut a rug. Tom Brady, nope, death by 1,000 paper cuts. I'm going to hit you in the flat. I'm going to hit this crosser to my slot receiver, and then I'm going to bang you on a seam route to my Gronk, who's just running down the field because he's a Gronk. You got the Hulk and you got the Gronk, and that's just what it was. So, Tom Brady is the Tim Duncan of basketball. I mean, of football. Like, when you really think about it, he's the Tim Duncan of football. He's the greatest at his position and never did anything spectacular. He's literally the Duncan of football. That's what he is. He's the Tim Duncan of football. Because when you think of Tim Duncan in basketball, he was the big fundamental. He just did everything the right way, wasn't spectacular, never did anything to make you remember him. All you know is Tim Duncan got 5 rings, and that's that. That's all you knew. You know Tim Duncan got 5 rings. That's it. You know what I'm saying? When you think of Tom Brady 10 years from now, but yeah, Tom Brady got 7 rings. You know, it is what it is, though, man. I think Mike Francesa, there was some merit to his conversation. I mean, the rings are the tiebreaker. So you got to give Brady the GOAT status because of the rings, but this is a good conversation. At some point, people, I know everybody likes to talk about analytics. Everything is analytic driven. I get it. But at some point, Killer Will needs to be a superpower. Because that's what Tom Brady had that Peyton Manning didn't. That's what Tom Brady had that Joe Montana never really needed to use on a regular basis. The dude, Tom Brady, got 6 game-winning Super Bowl drives. Tom Brady was so clutch. He was so cold-blooded in the biggest moments. And that was his superpower. The ability to execute the game plan, the ability to do what you do best when it matters most is what made Tom Brady better than everybody else. The panicking and the freneticness of Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees, Tom Brady didn't give you that. Tom Brady was never up by 1 billion points in the Super Bowl like Joe Montana. It was always close. It was always pressure. It was always a nail biter. And Tom Brady always delivered. It's just, that's how you're going to remember Brady. You know, when you think of Peyton Manning, at least when I think of Peyton Manning, you just think of the most explosive offenses of all time. You think of his brain, the way he would dissect a defense with the hot routes and the audibles. And Peyton Manning was just like, he was a machine. Peyton Manning was a freaking machine. But in the playoffs, although he did go to 4 Super Bowls, that machine tended to malfunction. Okay, when you look back and you think on Tom Brady, you're going to say the most clutch, cold-blooded killer in the history of all sports. I don't think there's a player in any sport as clutch as Tom Brady. Jordan didn't have to be as clutch as Tom Brady because Jordan never had to go to a Game 7. I mean, I guess you could throw LeBron up there. LeBron undefeated in finals in the Game 7s. I mean, look, there's a lot of Game 7s in the conference finals and stuff. Like, LeBron done had a lot of clutch Game 7s, but for the most part, when I think of clutch performers, I think of Tom Brady. Anytime I'm serious in life, anytime I need to get stuff done in life, I say I'm going 4th quarter Brady mode. That's like one of my favorite things to say. I'm going 4th quarter Brady mode. So, hell, go to my Twitter at BullyFist right now. I have a picture of Brady in 4th quarter Brady mode versus the Falcons. Got a picture of Brady pinned to my profile because that's the type of time I'm on right now. But yeah, man, thanks for the memories, Tom. Go get your wife back now. All right, Tommy, go get your wife back. Go restore the household and live happily ever after, fam. You done enough. That's it. That's all, though. Subscribe to the unit if you rocking with me. My name is Fist Vegas, and I approve this message.